So Cartoon Network is officially dead. So I bought the Book of Bill. Hey, it's Allie. Welcome back to my channel. I know these things seem unrelated, but they're really not, because in the face of mass layoffs, AI, and canceled projects, the Book of Bill coming out was kind of like a light in the dark for me. Gravity Falls has been over for years, but it has cemented itself as one of the best cartoons ever made, and it's definitely like top 2 for me. Like, it's between Adventure Time and Gravity Falls for my favorite cartoon on any given day. And when Alex Hirsch, the creator and someone who is very adamant and vocal about the animation industry and workers' rights, came out with this book. Oh, you bet your dilly dally that I ran to the store to get this. Like 3 weeks late, but we're here. And while I'm not an animator, I am an artist and a writer and a game designer. And if you've paid attention to any of those industries lately, you'll know that they're under pretty much the same exact thing. So I feel like we're on this little connection ride train together down into the depths of hell that is late stage capitalism. And so I wanted to talk about that, the Book of Bill, and everything in between. So if at any time you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe, because I make videos like this, unfortunately, all the time. In fact, I think like a year ago, almost to the day, I made a video when Cartoon Network first shut down, which we'll get to that in a second. So unfortunately, I make videos like this all the time, so subscribe. So Cartoon Network is dead. Like, for real this time. I think we were all kind of living in denial back when, like, the entire team got laid off for some reason. We just thought, like, no, that's not the death of Cartoon Network. They're just consolidating. And then when they took the letters off the fucking building, yeah. or when they took the website down, which is the newest thing that have happened in the latest Cartoon Network isn't dead. Like, I need to talk about this real quick, because y'all remember last year when all of this was happening, the team getting laid off, them taking the letters off the building, and everybody was like, oh my god, Cartoon Network is dead, RIP Cartoon Network. And then Cartoon Network social media came out and was like, guys, we're not dead. Like, what are you talking about? We're not dead. Yeah. So you want to retract that statement? Or, like, I know the social media people were just doing their jobs. In fact, the Cartoon Network Instagram has been working double time ever since then. Like, they're the only semblance of anything I get from Cartoon Network. And if you had just been following them on Instagram, you also probably would have thought they weren't dead, but they very much so are. And in fact, their website a couple of weeks ago completely shut down. And I don't want to get into the entire thing about safety and for online kids and kids having kid safe spaces, like, online for them. And there's definitely a larger conversation to be had about these safe kid spaces that, like, no longer exist. We're just throwing kids to the wolves when they turn 11 on fucking Twitter. Yeah. But I'm not a psychologist, so I'll leave that to them. Hello, I'm currently reading the Book of Bill. I'm literally on the first page. And it talks about the, like, fact that the Book of Bill is, like, infecting other books. Which, like, if you saw the, like, Barnes and Noble, like, thing, which is so cool. So cool, because, like, it had to cost so much money to get a bunch of other books printed that literally just say, I think, like, ha 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 inside. Well, okay, that's very creepy. But to be infected, like, on the outside, because it's, like, only at Barnes and Noble, too, which I think was really cool. To be infected other books, I think that's so cool. Which is why I think if we're gonna get something, like, more out of this, like a series, I think it might be a book or comic book series, because that would make sense that it's, like, a series of books that, like, are slowly being corrupted by Bill that can then lead to Bill coming out. Because I've seen some stuff about this, not a lot, but, like, I've seen some things, and some of the things that are saying is, like, the end is Bill trying to get out. Like, this entire book, spoiler alert, is Bill trying to get out. He is trying to get out, and he's speaking to us, the reader, and trying to convince us, the reader, to get out. And spoiler alert, I know the ending. He doesn't succeed, but he's like, okay, but someone will, maybe one day. So that would be cool if another character, like, through another book, in the Gravity Falls universe, gets introduced that does eventually let Bill out. And that could be another series, like a show series. It could be a comic book series. I would love a comic book series, or / graphic novel series, or it could be a book series like this. I would love something like this, because this feels like, to me, like a bunch of zines, or a bunch of zines. It's like a zine in the sense that, like, it has a lot of just, like, art and stories and things in it. I'm interested in this page. I love seen on TV stuff.
Yeah. Did you guys see that Gravity Falls inspired like analog horror series? We all thought it was real for a second. It's not, but it was really cool. You should check it out. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. You should check it out. I'm really excited to read this because as I'm sure I'm about to explain, animation ain't doing so hot right now. And I've been really kind of bummed out about it. And something like this, just new but also nostalgic. I don't know. It's just hitting. It's just hitting.
You know, My Hero Academia ended recently. I loved My Hero Academia, and despite the fandom's craziness, which I thought about making a video about since the show is over now, or it's ending. The manga has ended and the show is about to end. And I was very much so thinking about like making a video about the fandom like craziness, though that would be a lot of research. But if you want it, let me know. Maybe I'll look into it. But I was just thinking about how the way people treated the animators that worked on these projects. Animators, especially in anime, already get the fucking rub, and you're sitting here complaining about fucking clouds. Like every single time a new episode of My Hero Academia came out, there was multiple people on the timeline, to the point where I'm pretty sure it became a meme, talking about some damn fucking clouds in the background and how they're too bright and cheery and this, that, the third. I genuinely was flabbergasted every time I saw this. But we're not here to talk about My Hero Academia. But what it has told me about the animation industry is that we are taught a lot, especially in like obviously capitalistic societies, to separate art from the artist. It is very easily for us to just be like, when Disney gets something right, oh, Disney's done something right for once. Yay, the movie was good. Awesome, Disney did something good. But when a movie is bad, like most people, luckily, you know, especially people who make art and understand the animation process, don't do this. But I still see it a lot about like, what were the animators thinking? What were these game devs thinking? Like, and especially when you are front facing online, you are the face of your project. Especially in game dev, this happens a lot, where people will go after voice actors, they'll go after game devs, they'll go after animation artists. And it's like, if you didn't like the show, that's fine. But why are we going after these people when all they wanted to do is make a good product? I promise you, 100% of the time, every animator, artist, writer, etc., wants to make a good product. They want to make a good piece of artwork for you to consume and enjoy, okay? They never go into a project wanting to make something bad. So the fact that a lot of people online are trying to say, oh, well, they just made trash on purpose, they keep pumping out these remakes. Who is pumping out those remakes? I promise you, it's not the animators who would jump at the chance to produce their own like projects that they've been thinking about, or have the chance to even pitch their projects in the first place. I promise you, it's not them. So why are we on Twitter yelling at them? I'm starting to see a common denominator here, and it's Twitter. I watched this amazing video about this person who worked on a couple of episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen, and if you know anything about the Jujutsu Kaisen production process, you know that it was absolutely hell for those animators. I highly suggest you go watch her video, because she like actually worked on the project, and she first-hand account of like the amount of crunch and the amount of like just not good working environments. And I think it sucks is because a lot of these people kind of just suffer through it. She even talks about this in her video about how people kind of just suffer through it because it's a dream job. It's a dream job to be working on a cartoon, to be working on an anime, things like that, to be animating as your full-time job. Those are dream jobs right there. And because of that, you are a lot less likely to, you know, stand up for your own workers' rights, because you don't want to lose this opportunity that you have. And she specifically talks about how it's a lot of freelance work. And so if you decide to set your boundaries, you can be scared to do that, because if you set your boundaries, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they may not call you back, because they're like, well, this person set her boundaries and only wants to do like this much work for this many hours in the day, or after a certain time of day doesn't want to do any work. Meanwhile, this other person over here who also, it's their dream job and is also working themselves ragged, might just say yes because they're scared, and they'll go with that person over you, and everybody loses in that scenario. I cannot stress enough how people will say, well, people will really sit there and say unions are bad, which is crazy to think about. Like, our education system has failed us, because there's no way you sat through like multiple years of US history and got all of those lectures about how unions made it so our workforce is the way that it is today, like for better or for worse, and then sat there and was like, yeah, unions are bad. Like, what? Like, it is by design that we nowadays don't even think about unions. Like, you think of the word union and you're automatically thinking of like the American Industrial Revolution. Like, you're not thinking of anything modern or anything today, because that is how much like especially the entertainment industry just just isn't unionized or isn't unionized properly or doesn't really like act upon that. Now, obviously within the last year, we have seen a lot of that. And I feel like the other half of the reason why people aren't taking this animation crisis seriously, whether it's in Japan or here, unless you are like a super fan, like unless you're a weeb, you're probably not even tuned into the fact that like anime is being made under these circumstances. Or if you're not a cartoon freak like me, you also probably aren't like keeping up with these artists and like what is going on online, right? And I think a part of that is the fact that like animation by and large is heavily marketed as a kid's thing, even when it's not a kid's thing. Okay, we all heard about the issues with Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel. You know, it is not the artist's fault. They made an 18+ show. It is Amazon's fault for putting it in the kids section, even if it was just for a second. It is these big companies' fault for not giving the adequate amount of advertisement to these shows that may be for more than just kids. Why? Because y'all don't care about kids. Y'all don't. Capitalism especially does not care about fucking kids. They would rather have AI like just slop teach their kids the ABCs than to get somebody who actually cares and is passionate about teaching the kids the ABCs. Why? Because once again, you don't care about kids. You only care about kids so much as it brings you money. And unfortunately, kids bring in a lot of fucking money. So they're not gonna advertise to like somebody like me who would buy merch, who would buy a book like this. And you know, speaking of, let's talk about AI.
There's so much interesting stuff here. Just in the like first couple pages, like this introduction of Bill. Oh, look at him. Like the fact that he's like, after all, you're mortal, one day you'll be dust, but I'm an idea can't be killed, so that's me 1, you 0 on the immortality front, and if I'm the eternal one and you're the temporary one, then it might be wise for you to get on the winning side early, you dig? That is so interesting to be said there. Maybe it's just because I've been thinking about like meta narratives lately, because I've been watching a video about Deltarune, and Deltarune is probably going to have a lot of meta narratives in it. And part of that meta narrative is the idea of like what's real, what's not real, the idea of ideas. And this entire video that I have already scripted out, these are just the Bill sections of it, it is about literally the fact that they can't take that away from you. Like ideas and your creativity is the one thing they can like never take away from you. No matter how shitty things get, no matter how often they lay you off, no matter how much they say that like AI is going to take over, which it's not, because at the end of the day, ideas, real true ideas are like strong. AI can't replicate that. AI can replicate it. It can't come up with new ideas. It can replicate your ideas, but it'll never be able to come up with its own. And that is like means more than anything, because that's also a reason why AI is like failing right now. I'm sure I'll talk about this later. I have a whole section in the video about AI, but like the reason why AI is failing right now is because it can't come up with any new ideas. And so unless you just want to make remakes forever, which some of these companies do, eventually you'll run out of remakes to make. And then what? And then what? Anyway, this is an interactive book. I could turn to page 77. Hold on, I'm gonna turn to page 77. These don't have page numbers on them, so I don't know what page 77 is actually. Hold on. Okay, well, I can't find what page 77 is, but I'm gonna go through every single page of this book, so I'm assuming I'll find it later, but like, we'll continue on. I love this so much. What are you possessed by? A fandom? What a mood. Such a mood.
You know, I low-key wish Bill had mentioned AI in this book, because it would be so fitting. There's a part in the book where he is talking about his time through time. Him coming to Earth and throughout the history of Earth, you know, trying to corrupt humans' minds to like set him free, basically. And I know they stopped really recently, because once we get to like the Stanford stuff, that's where it ends. But it would be so great if there was some type of like mention of AI like right at the end of the history stuff, because that has Bill Cipher written all over it. I saw this like little animated like cartoon thing on Twitter. I'm gonna put it on the screen, and I was like, yeah, if anybody, like, if we had to make some supernatural force the driver of all things evil in this fucking world, Bill Cipher would definitely hang on to AI like it's his last fucking lifeline. Like, especially early AI, when it was just printing out monstrosities upon monstrosities, especially especially for someone like Bill who doesn't really understand like human relationships and things like that. It's just funny to think about, and it's a coping mechanism that I'm gone with. Like, AI sucks, yeah, it's just because of Bill. It's Bill. He's taking over through AI. Speaking of Bill, let's talk about the book for a little bit to not, again, be a complete downer. One of my personal favorite pages is the mortality page because we get to see a lot of his mask slip. And he's usually talking to us. Like, the whole book is him trying to convince us to get on his side, right? And so in the, like, mortality pages, he's talking about himself a lot of the time. And that's when we get to see his true mask slip. And we get to see his, like, insecurities. And I love it so much. Like, I love the little theories we have now about Bill and his homeworld and the voices that go inside of his head that, you know, he said it as a joke. It's like, haha, the voices won't stop. But it's like, Mister, hello. Can y'all hear that? Hold on. You want to guess which cat it was? He came in here just to destroy my ottoman. Yeah. Got anything to say for yourself? Oh, he's gonna rub on my leg. Were you surprised? He's such a baby. You're such a baby. But anyway, yeah, the voices inside Bill's head won't stop. And I hope they never stop. And I hope that we get more lore about his homeworld and the things that he did to it. Very clearly, he destroyed his own homeworld. Okay, I'm mentioning Lego Monkey Kid for a second. I'm sorry. Okay, if you're watching this and you watch my Lego Monkey Kid video, awesome, love you. In the Lego Monkey Kid video, I talked about the little snake guy and his whole backstory, right? Hello? Okay, hold on. All right. His whole backstory was that he found the chaos and he loved the chaos and he was just like, okay, I want to introduce this to everybody else because I think it's a good thing and we should all go towards that. I don't know if this is just like a regular mythology type of thing, but this is kind of similar to that where he was pretty much like not shunned, but like they said like, nah, we don't want that, we aren't worried about that, blah 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 blah. I feel the same thing here with Bill, where it was like he told his homeworld, hey, because they lived in like a 2D plane, and he was like, guys, 3D, like, isn't that a crazy thing? Like 3 dimensions. And his entire homeworld was like, no, we don't know or we don't care. And he was like, well, I can see the above, let me help you guys out, and then somehow killed his entire homeworld. Yeah, and that haunts him forever, and he's been lonely ever since. And that's why I think he's like truly jealous of the Pines family, like truly, truly deeply. I think another like little tidbit we get about like Bill's true insecurities and personalities, surprisingly enough, is the urban legends like category. Like all of them are like fake urban legends, right? But they're supposed to be, I guess, popular within this Gravity Falls universe. And it's really interesting the way that he talks about these urban legends. Like he talks about them like, haha, look at these losers, blah, 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 blah. And then he like kind of wishes he could like join them in being a part of this like in-group club. And I think we've seen that before in Gravity Falls with him, like trying to make this little club, this little family thing work. And it's just like not working out for him. There's a One Piece reference. There's a One Piece reference. There's a fucking One Piece reference. Is this how I find out that the Pines parents are fucking divorced? Like, why would you ship your kids away for summer? Like, what is that gonna do? They're just gonna come back after having a traumatic ass summer / one of the best summers of their lives, come back just to be like, by the way, your mother and I are getting a divorce. That's crazy. That's crazy. Also, what's her face only ever dreaming about her mom? What's up with that? What's her name, Wendy? Why was she only ever dreaming about her mom? And poor Mabel. This was on par with finding out that Simon was Ice King, or that Ice King was Simon. Cause what? Also, this very depressing to read. Someone help him. Like, the man is in pain. So I'm about halfway through now, and I'm having the time of my life. Like, when I said that this would fix me, I kind of meant it. Like, it kind of is, in a way. It's kind of weird how much fun I'm having, and how much, like, just, like, simple fun that I'm having. Like, maybe I'm getting possessed by Bill Cipher. No. But, honestly, I am having a grand old time. It's just fun. It's nice to see something that was, like, so clearly made, for a specific fan base. Like, did we ever think we were gonna get this? Like, no. Like, that's why the whole, like, possessed by a fandom thing was, like, so funny to me. Is because, like, we never thought we were gonna get this. We thought it was over. Like, we were just like, damn, we're never gonna see Dipper or Mabel, like, grown up. We're never gonna get to know. Like, there's still so many questions. And to even hint at that, even a little bit, like I said, I'm, like, halfway through. We're about to get some Bill backstory, you know? Is crazy to me. And I don't know. I don't know why this was made. I would love to, like,
see an interview of Alex Hirsch just like explain like why he decided to make this now, or even in the past couple of years, because I'm sure it took a couple of years to make, what it all means, you know, like, I don't know, just this right now with all the things going on in the world, not in the world, but specifically in the like animation industry, it like, I don't know, this just feels good. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, comforting, I guess is the right word. A blast of nostalgia, definitely. But, like, this is mostly new content. Like, there's not really any old content in here to, like, mull over or talk about. It's mostly new stuff. And I guess it's, like, there are people out there who know what we want, know what audiences want, know what artists want, and this, that, and the third. And I think that says a lot. Like, the fact that this exists says a lot about the connection that artists have with their audience in a way that I think people don't really get, in a way that I think that companies don't really understand or get, because why did this take so long to come out, you know? Like, truly deeply. I just, like, I am very grateful to be super connected, not parasocially, but like to understand that there are real people behind the things that I make. And it's just something I feel like every person who's ever been a fan of a thing like kind of goes through, is like, oh, there are people behind the things that I like some people made this, like a lot of people made this. Like, I saw the credits on the like cover, I think on the like slide out cover, a lot of people made this, a lot of people who love Gravity Falls and love art and love making things. And you know what, I think that says a lot.
Now, I know, back to AI, I know, opposite of like this not being a downer video, but I have some good news for you. AI is by and large failing. Yeah, bottom line, in this capitalistic hellscape that we live in, AI is not making the money that all of these big giant tech companies thought AI was going to make them. They are actively losing money on trying to train these AI. And of course, that comes with, you know, all of the lawsuits that have been filed against them that of course are going to take years and years to like get through, but it's something. And a lot of them have actually been pushed through to like go on with the lawsuits, basically. Why? Because they're just scraping information, your information, my information, artist information. It's not just art, but all of these chatbot AIs, all these other like type of AI, generative AI shit. They're scraping people's information without their knowledge, and they're trying to work around it by saying like, okay, well, when you use our service, when you use our product, Adobe, we just own the rights to everything you own. And I'm like, that don't work. People are just gonna stop using your product, which we have already seen in mass droves, people starting to stop using the product. Like, as soon as like I graduate, I probably won't be using Adobe products anymore. I'm only using them because they're free and I already know how to use them. It's free with my school, right? Like tuition, I paid for them. But like, well, I paid for it through tuition. But like, as soon as I have to pay for it myself, like out of my own pocket, I probably am not going to use Adobe products anymore. And especially if they're going to continue to try and do the whole, yeah, so if you make something, we kind of like own it so we can use it to scrape all of your data and all of the hard work that you did. I don't know how much that's going to fly in the long run, because a lot of like bigger, higher up companies use Adobe products like professionally, which is why Adobe is so expensive in the first place, but whatever. But it's like the industry standard. So that means that industry, really big companies, are using Adobe products. And if you're sitting there saying that, yeah, now we own the rights to the things that you make, and well, not own the rights, but like we have the right to scrape all of your data based off of the things that you make, I don't think big giant tech companies are going to enjoy that one. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. And also, the average consumer for all of these non-generative AI stuff don't care. Like, the average consumer does not care about the newest chatbot integrated into fucking Instagram or Google's very much so failing AI system. Like, I literally just have to scroll. I know there's like a couple of plugins that you can use to make it so you don't have to see any of the generative AI like slop that Google puts out at the beginning, their whole Gemini system. It's bad, but like, also, I can just scroll past it. And in fact, I think it's kind of made me more media literate as of late, because now I know to actually check the sources and not just the first thing that appears on the Google homepage, you know, to actually look at what I'm searching for. And so in doing so, you're forcing people to become more media literate to be able to look at the type of like bullshit AI systems that you're using. And speaking of like AI that no one cares about, I saw this YouTuber, like I don't even remember who it was, but it was just a YouTuber, and she had a sponsorship, and the sponsorship was for a gaming laptop. And you know, that's a big deal. Like, I would love to get sponsored by a gaming laptop. but they made her talk about the fact that there are AI features built into the laptop that makes it great for like AI assistants or like whatever. Who cares? How many times AI assistants have been on computers like since forever? That's nothing new. They're just trying to remarket it and repackage it and do even more data scraping to make it better. But like, honest to God, when's the last time you've ever used Alexa or any of the like chatbot AI systems that were already embedded into your computer? When's the last time you've used it? Never? I haven't. So why the fuck would I care that my laptop, my gaming laptop that I'm probably using for gaming or content creation or something, why would I care that it has an AI feature built into it? Why would I care? A lot of different services that get sponsored by YouTubers or YouTubers like sponsor, they do that thing as well, where they'd be like, make sure you mention that we have an AI feature. Who cares? Like, who fucking cares about your dumb fucking AI feature? Like, the average consumer, like, I definitely don't care because I'm an artist, but the average everyday consumer, like my mother's not gonna fucking care that about your fucking AI feature on Instagram. Who's going to use Instagram as a search function? Nobody. Like, at all. The only time I use Instagram as a search function is when I'm looking for a specific food place to see what their food looks like. But by then I already know the food place that I'm looking for. So I'm not using it as a, what are some good food places around me? That's what Google is for. I don't like, I'm getting a little bit off topic, but like, yeah, AI by and large is failing. Like, people want new things. They don't just want the same shit over and over and over again. And that's all AI can produce. AI cannot produce anything new. Here is another great video where like this, if you need some like hope core stuff on your timeline today, here's a great video about the failings of AI. Make yourself feel a little better.
I find all of this very interesting. This is so interesting. This is basically my guy over here, good old Sixer over here, Stanford. This is his like memories with Bill, like first meeting Bill and how he got what's the word, like seduced pretty much by Bill, like quite literally seduced, which like I started seeing ship art online and I was wondering, I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought it was just like, haha, like they're pretty much exes. No, like they literally are. Like, what the fuck? But it's interesting because the whole thing is like he was very vulnerable to this because he was so lonely, despite being like so smart and everything. And I wonder if we do get a like future sequel to like Gravity Falls or like whatever, whether it be a show or a comic book or a book or whatever. I wonder if it'll be a character who like is a child, like probably around like Dipper's age, Mabel's age, like around like probably like 16, 17 by now, right? Who is also like very lonely and very like sad. Not necessarily maybe as smart as Stanford, but like who is very lonely, very sad. And because this book is supposed to be whatever it needs to be when the user picks it up, it could say something along the lines, because even in here, it's very interesting the way that like Bill talks to us, the reader, in this book. Hi, ma'am. Because he is talking, hello, sir. He is talking in a way that's like supposedly, like, especially the love portion, it's like, oh, you're very lonely, you're a lonely person, and I can be your company. Like, he's kind of like doing the same routine he did with like Stanford here. So it'd be really interesting to see if it is kind of the same, like if this does end up being any sequel and there's an actual like reader character, if that person is like a child who's maybe lonely and maybe doesn't have any friends, etc., etc., because that almost happened to like Dipper, but Dipper had Mabel at least as like an actual friend, family, you know, member who they had a good relationship, unlike Stanford and the other guy whose name I forgot. Sorry, I didn't mean to forget his name. But yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder how that will go, because it seems like definitely Bill tries to prey on loneliness because he is also just as lonely. Anyway, I love this so much. God, the toxic yaoi is real. I thought y'all were joking. Oh my god. Oh my god. Y'all, the longest part of this book was the Sixer part. Like, this is how long this part is. Like, it starts here and ends like here-ish. Like, I just find that a little odd. Just a little odd. Not odd. I thought y'all were joking about the toxic yaoi. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought y'all were just joking, haha. You know how fandoms be. No, it's real and canon. And like, I understand why the Sixer part is so long, because it's like the main like thing that happens that like sets off Gravity Falls, like the show in motion, and also his downfall and all that type of stuff. So I get it, but oh my god, Bill, and then I haven't even read this part yet about him going on what is pretty much a drunken bender because he got broken up with. Okay.
Also, unions work, by the way. Like, they notoriously work. And they are working right now as we speak. The day that I started researching for this was August 10th, which happened to be the day a bunch of animators and animation lovers united came together in, I think, Glendale, California, where all the animation stuff happens, to hold a rally, pretty much, to talk about the fact that, like, hey, we're not going to stand here for this. And negotiations have opened with IATSE, the Animators Guild, specifically part of IATSE, and we can hope to see something good soon. And if not, just like the writer's strike last year, they will go on strike. And honestly, I hope they get everything they need and more. And also, you know, the voice actors for gaming are also going on strike, because that shit's, you know, voice actors get paid like pennies, bro. We gotta talk about that shit someday, because like voice actors get paid goddamn fucking pennies. And oh, it's bad. It's bad. Same thing. They just want protections against AI, or at the very least, transparency. Because chances are you're probably not going to go want to work at a company that is like openly and freely using AI, and there should be transparency in that. So that's by and large a lot of that, and also probably better working conditions, because horrid working conditions. Horrid. And I've seen a lot of people really despondent about the art industry and where it's going in their own art careers right now. And my question to that is, was your dream to become an artist or work at a company? Like, really, why would any of this shit stop you from creating? It shouldn't. I've seen a lot of people saying they're just gonna give up on art entirely, and it's like, why? Art is this, I don't know about you, but like for me, art is like this intrinsic thing, like I have to do. Like I have to get it out. The entire reason for starting this YouTube video is because I cannot shut up. I can't. And whatever form that takes its form in, whether it be art, whether it be writing, whether it be making YouTube videos, games, whatever, I cannot shut up. I can't stop moving my hands. I need to make something. I just need to do something with my hands. I need to create. And I heard somewhere in some YouTube video that is like an intrinsic human thing, the want to create. And I can't see how any stupid ass company, any AI schlop is ever going to stop me from creating. Like, yes, it sucks that these big companies are taking away people's dream jobs and trying to replace it with a machine that doesn't know how to spit out anything new. But I would rather grind away working alone, working by myself, and making it by myself before I ever go work for a company that wants to replace me with a machine anyway. And you probably feel the same. Like, yes, we all have those dream jobs, but I know that in 9 months, when I graduate, I still can't find a job that will sustain me in my own industry, I will still be creating. Even if I have to go get a regular 9 to 5, I will still be creating. And I hope you will too. There is this thing going on in a lot of different creative industries, but especially in the animation and gaming industry, and people are calling it like an indie revolution. It's happened before and it's happening again. Amazing indie games made by small teams or even one person keep coming out. Like my Steam wish list is miles long, and half of the games aren't even out yet, and I'm so excited for those games. And same with animation. There's so many great indie animation and indie animation companies that have been popping up very recently. I'm sure you all know about like the Amazing Digital Circus and that entire team, Glitch Productions, and everything that they've been making. Terminal Montage, who is a person who makes these really funny like Pokemon animation videos or just video game animation videos in general, just came out with the pilot for their own cartoon, and it's so good. Please watch it. It's so cute. It's so cute and funny. Please go watch it. There's this really cute and pretty pilot that I'm so interested in called Port by the Sea, and it's these two kids getting up to magical hijinks and like nautical themed magical hijinks. Yes, like sign me absolutely up. Go watch the pilot right now. And of course we have bigger names like FNAF just celebrated its entire 10-year anniversary, and honestly, FNAF has had its ups and downs, but the fact that FNAF is working now with indie creators to create new games in this franchise that take it far beyond just what we know of the regular Five Nights at Freddy's brand is amazing and should be talked about and celebrated. Yeah, you thought this was a Doomer Core video? Not on my watch, babes. If you know anything about my channel, it's about Hope Core. It's about Happy Core here, okay? And those were like some of the really, really popular ones. Yay lore Yay Color, Yay Loker, like Yay Lore? Is it called Yay Lore or Yay Color? You know what I mean. It's an art project accompanied by music that is so good and has real forest fantasy vibes. If you're into that, if the internet would just stop being weird about it. And going even bigger than that, I've been reading the Witch Hat Atelier manga. Oh my god, the video that I make about that will be insane because the world building in that manga is absolutely phenomenal. It is so pretty, it is so beautiful, the story is beautiful, the characters are beautiful. Oh my god, it is so good. And of course the animation industry is in talks and negotiations right now and can use all of the support that they can get. So please go online and check out your favorite artists, your favorite animators, your favorite storyboard artists, your favorite writers, all of them, and go follow them, go support them. I've said this before in a lot of different animation videos, but this is the only way that these people actively get support. And sometimes it can lead to like jobs in the industry if they see that they have a lot of support online. Not saying that's the only way people get jobs, but it helps. It definitely helps. I need to back up. I don't know why I was so close just now. And oh my god, this book.
Oh my god, please. Bill isn't a god. He's a needy theater kid in search of a stage. Please. Please. Because as long as you're reading, we're giving him his real livelihood. Lifeblood, sorry. Not power, attention. Wow. You can't kill an idea, but you can think of a better one. You know, when I started this video, I genuinely was like, is this gonna make sense at all? Because I was like, I really want to read the Book of Bill. And I'm really thinking about the animation industry right now and how in the dumps it is. How do I even connect these two things? Are they even connected? Will I just be wasting my time? And as I started reading, I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah, it's very connected. The idea of like, you can't kill an idea, but you can think of a better one. Can we kill AI? Probably not. Absolutely not. You can't go backwards in time, but you can do better than AI. You can always do anything better than AI. You writing anything down on a piece of paper, coming up with your own ideas. Babe, you're already doing better than AI. So like, continue creating because like, AI can't take that away from you. AI is not creative, babes. You are.
You're an artist, so create. Please, please don't ever give up on your dreams because that's what Bill wants, okay? He wants you to give up on your dreams. He wants you to grow despondent and sad and be like, if you can't beat him, join him, which I've seen a couple of artists do, which has been gross to say the least, but like, that's what Bill wants. He wants you to crumble. Don't crumble, girl. Your dreams may not exist with $1 million company, and that's okay. I have been so happy to find my little neighborhood here on YouTube, and I cannot be happy. When you guys send me, I know some of y'all hate, like y'all like, oh, I sent you such a long comment. I'm sorry. Keep sending them, okay? Not only does it like help the algorithm, but also I genuinely love reading them. Like I started this whole YouTube channel. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. I started this YouTube channel because I don't know how to shut up. And also I was kind of like lonely in the spaces online that I, you know, talking to people. It kind of felt like I was talking to the void. This is kind of my place to talking to the void, and finally the void talks back. Okay, so I love our long ass conversations that we have, and one day when I get myself together, I will stream and we can have even more long ass conversations. I know you will find your audience for whatever wacky little thing you got going on in your head. Art will never die because you exist, and ideas can't die, but you can think of a better one. Okay, we're at the end of the video now, and I quickly want to talk about some Bill theories because as much as like, you know, I had a little meta thing going on there, I still am obsessed with this book and everything that it's talking about. So can we talk about the fact that Bill isn't dead? Like, obviously he's not dead. He's in some type of prison realm thing. Well, I think it's a rehabilitation. He's in rehab right now. Bill is in rehab, okay? And also the fact that Bill never really left Stanford, like, he never left Stanley's brain. He never left Stanley. So what's gonna happen there? I would like to see a new series set in the Gravity Falls universe that's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily have to be about the Pines family. They've gone through enough. Maybe they can come in as like cameos or something, but I don't think if we get a new series set in the Gravity Falls universe, it does not have to be about the Pines family. It would be cool actually if it's about the reader of this book. It is very clear that like we are supposed to be like, obviously it's like a, you know, self-insert, you know, but it would be really cool, especially the way that this book has taken shape. It's supposed to take shape differently for every person that reads it. It'd be very cool if someone found it like in universe of Gravity Falls, read through this, who's like, you know, alone, maybe a child, like if they age up the characters to like maybe 16, 17, like a teenager who's like very despondent, or a young adult who's very despondent, finds this and is like the main character of whatever next series it is, and Bill like comes back through that means, and then, you know, they meet Dipper and Mabel and all that lovely stuff that happens. I just want the Pines family to be okay, y'all. The fact that they only lived in one universe One reality is when they oh, that was such a depressing page to read. I don't know, man. I just feel like when I read this book, I got like possessed or something. It was just that good. Like someone should probably check in on that.
Hello, Internet! This time, you're on your own. Good luck.
Damn. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you did, you are a real one. I was obsessed with this book. I think that's pretty obvious. I'm obsessed with this book. This was such a light in the darkness of like the shit going on in the animation industry right now. I don't think anybody was expecting this to come out. Like, I don't know. I know he teased it a lot, but like before that, I don't think anybody was expecting anything else from Gravity Falls for like ever, let alone this, because you know, Disney is the way that Disney is. And the fact that this book is like, it even says in here it's meant for a little bit of older readers, and that is so true. And there were some things I was like, whoa, what the fuck? And as much as like it seems doomer, you know, the doomer narratives going around about AI and about the animation industry, people are trying their hardest. And I think that's another thing that capitalism will try to do so much, is it will try to rip you away from one another. It will try to rip you away from friends, from other workers and things like that, and isolate you to the point where you can rely on nothing but the thing that capitalism provides you. And that's why unions work, because we all work together. All right. And so let's all stand together. Let's all hype each other up. If you have anything that you're working on that you want to plug in the comments, go plug it in the comments. If you have anything that you found, like any indie animation, indie games, anything, I'm always looking for something to talk about, something to read, something to look at. Let me know down in the comments below. Like, shout it out. Let's support each other. Like I said, go follow these artists online. Go support them. Go support the Animators Guild, IATSE, all of them, because they're the reasons why I'm sitting here. Like, hello, look at my shelves. So please support them any way that you can. Mostly just signal boosting is the best. And of course, I also didn't want to make a super negative video on my channel, because y'all know me. I love making videos about things that I like. You know, I would rather make videos about that than a negative video any live long day. But it's hard to do that when it feels like this looming cloud that has constantly been over everything that I like in the animation industry and the video game industry and the writing industry. Oh my god. But of course, that does not stop creative people from making creative things. So go create, okay? So go create. I'll be here in the next episode. Love and peace. This book is doing things to me, man. It's doing things to me.